Hey everybody, Brad Salyers here with Real Estate Connect. I'm also with Waterstone Realty Group at Keller Williams Realty Portland Premier. And we've got a great show for you today. Today we got Ray Ellen on the program. And so stay tuned and check this out. We are in the rec room. Hey, thanks for hanging back with us. Guys, I got a great show for you today. Today we got a guest speaker. We're really excited about interviewing him. He's killing it with his video game. Let me show you this slide right here. This is Ray. He's live in the rec room today with us. He does a lot of great stuff on video, on Facebook, on his website. He's got a killer website. Check out this little video, just a little introduction to what he's doing and where he's going with his company.
We're not going to be real estate agents anymore. In the future, we're going to be media companies that specialize in real estate. That future, it's here.
Oh, that is just some good stuff right there. So Ray Ellen is on the show. He's recently he was one of the speakers at Tom Ferry. I know he was recently interviewed in a magazine for some of the stuff that he's doing with video and with his company, Pixel Properties Realty. Just an incredible name. He's got incredible vision, and he's just blowing this stuff away with some of this video and media stuff. I can't wait to talk to him. So we got Ray on. Ray, come on in here, buddy. How are you?
Hey everybody, I'm good. How are you, man?
Thanks for joining us today. So Ray, like I said, he does a lot of cool stuff that we're going to talk about today. He does these housing data dumps on his Facebook page. He's got that's what you call it, right?
That is what we call it. We actually named it Housing Data Dump because I was quite sure no one would copy that name.
That's probably true. He's also got some more brilliant stuff I talked about. The Home Sweet Arkansas. He does a live show on there, Bearded Men of Real Estate with Dan Ludwig, and he does some really great listing videos. And here in a little bit, we'll scan and scrub his Facebook page so you guys can check that out and see some of the stuff that he's doing. But Ray, man, thanks for joining us. How are things? What's going on?
Yeah, things are crazy right now for us. So Pixel Properties has been open since February 1st. So we launched the actual brokerage just recently that kind of was birthed out of our own team. And so things for us right now, not only is the market picking up, but we're getting lots and lots of calls from local agents wondering what we're doing and how we're doing it and if they could join and if they could be a part of it. So all that on top of everything else that's happening normal, kind of crazy right now. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you got to be busy. You're still selling houses, plus you're doing all these different shows and this media stuff that takes time, and these Facebook Live shows, and now you got to be interviewing agents to join the brokerage. So pretty busy. Tell us about. Did you see the intro video? Did you see that beard? Did you see it on the screen?
Yeah, that looked good, man. They say that the best part about shaving a beard is the joy in watching it regrow.
Oh, yes. That sounds good. I don't know if my wife will like that, but I enjoy that process. So I'm looking forward to giving that a shot.
Well, the beard is kind of a funny story. When I first started in real estate, I was fairly clean shaven. I think I just kind of took it down to some stubble and that kind of thing. And, everyone always says as you start real estate, oh, you do you be your own, you do your, well, I didn't really believe that. I mean, I wore a suit, I shaved it. I try to be as clean as possible, just to kind of respect the game of the guys that were there long before me and learn as much as possible from them. And I knew that if I came in, big guy, bearded, I wouldn't earn any respect from them. So then I kind of learned the game. And then as we wanted to change the game, I couldn't look like them because the persona would be, well, he's just like everyone else. So then I got to be me. And that's kind of when about 3 years ago or 4 years. Yeah, about 3 years ago, I just kind of let it start to grow. and it elongated my head. I've got a really round head, so it's really helpful. And
So do I. When I
personal
shaved it, I didn't
appearance.
realize how short my face was.
Exactly. I'm sure if I shaved it, I'd be like, wow, that is a round head. So I'm just gonna leave it long.
Yeah, I thought about introducing you as the James Harden of real estate,
Well, he's got one of the best gifts out there, though.
Yeah. True. Yeah, he's awesome, man. I can't get enough of watching him play basketball. Being out here in Portland, we love the Blazers, so we watch the Blazers all the time. We get to go to the Blazer
We don't
games.
even have a pro team here in Arkansas. So.
Yeah. But so yeah, we do go see James when he comes to town. But yeah, that beard, man, it looks like you're from Portland, man. I guess it's that seems like
even here.
Yeah, it's spread across the country now. So that's awesome. But tell us about that Bearded Men of Real Estate. You and Dan, what do you guys got going on? How'd that start, and what are you guys doing with that show?
Yeah, so we have, as you mentioned, we have several pieces of content. And each piece of content kind of has a different purpose, a different market, and a different reason that we do it. So the Bearded Men of Real Estate happened because Dan and I met each other in one of these Facebook groups, like one of those referral groups and stuff. And I thought he looked like the red bearded guy from Game of Thrones. So I dropped one of those GIFs on one of the comments he made. I'm like, dude, you look just like this guy. And he laughed. Then we just kind of started talking about, being a bearded guy in real estate and how that was affecting us or not. And we were both kind of, doing well, I guess you could say. Not gonna cuss, but we were doing well. And then we just started talking about like what was happening in the market and what we were seeing and different trends. And this was kind of a messaging back and forth. And he said, man, I've had this idea for a podcast called The Bearded Men of Real Estate, Be More, BMORE. And the purpose would be to help inform agents about what's going on in the world, what's going on, in just real estate in general, and then to kind of call them to a higher standard to be more.
Nice.
And I love the double meaning of the name. And I had been watching this. There's a show called The Daily Tech News Show. Tom Merritt and some of those guys do it. It's a really great format for a show where they run through the headlines and then they'll dig a little deeper in some of the more pertinent topics of the day. And so I kind of told him the format. He said, I've had the name and the idea. You've got the format. Let's go.
Nice.
And so that's where that came from. So we've done about 16 episodes now. There's a new thing called Real Estate Live that we just posted on. The Real Estate Live is a thing that Tim Macy's doing, if you know Tim, and he's doing it in conjunction with Lab Code Agents, which is this other big group. And they're basically putting content for real estate agents on there. There's several new live shows and several live shows that have been around a while that are kind of getting picked up on it. So
what's it called?
So it happened, I think yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. We recorded a show there, and normally like we'll get 5,000 to 6,000 views on it. It's mostly real estate agents, even local real estate agents around the country. And that one already has 3,000 views on it. So I think usually a week or two later, I think it's going to blow up. So that's kind of a cool, it's a fun show for us. We have to know about the real estate headlines and what's going on anyway. So why not create content around it and also connect with other agents around the country?
Right. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do here as well. The Real Estate Connect is a group that we created for the Portland real estate market for the agents here from Vancouver, Washington, down all the way, to Eugene and Bend around here to just try to provide some value, bring in interviews with people like you who are doing these amazing things in real estate to, forward thinking and things that are making them very successful so that you guys can share that stuff with us and we can learn from that and implement new things into our business. So truly appreciate you guys. Yeah. So we totally appreciate that. So with the Bearded Men of Real Estate then, who's your audience? Are you, is that for realtors then, or just for consumers, or?
When we originally started it, we thought most of the viewers would be real estate agents, just like what's happening in the news. Zillow had a big announcement, so we went into the details of Zillow. The week before that, we talked about the terrible realtor logo that they were doing, So we were thinking when we initially started the show 16 episodes ago, it's just going to be real estate agents. But what we found is, I'll go to the gym and somebody's like, hey man, I watched your Be More show. That was awesome. And I would have these conversations with lay people about the real estate industry. So it's really a lot of consumers, people that own homes, people that are looking to invest in homes, especially, are real interested in it. I've got one guy, he has a hair salon and he's at my gym. He's like, every time you guys are on, we just put it on the big screens and we all listen and watch it.
Nice.
Hair salon that's like throwing up the Bearded Men of Real Estate. and there's not much up here, so it's not for. But he's showing it to all of his staff and everybody. And I said, well, I told him I appreciate his captive audience because they can't go anywhere, right? They're just sitting there watching the show. So there's people that are talking about that show that we didn't think were, and so we're kind of open to that now. There's a couple of news stories on there that are always kind of slanted towards consumers, and we may be talking about the economy or something that's going on in the economy, something that's happening in the numbers, and then how to interpret them as an agent for your client. When we do that, we're also interpreting that for the client right there. So our clients are real familiar with it, and I didn't think they would be.
Yeah, I don't know how I came across it, but I've been watching your show and checking out your stuff for a while here. But yeah, I don't even know where I found it, but I was like, Bearded Men of Real Estate. That's awesome.
Love it.
And yeah, that's cool, man. It's really
We got
cool.
a logo now too. It looks amazing.
Does
so
it?
Dan is a graphics designer. He designed a logo for us. 16 episodes in, we finally got a logo.
Sweet. Yeah. This show is titled The Rec Room for, Real Estate Connect is the name of our Facebook group, and so it just made sense to call it The Rec Room. But yeah, so we're hoping to get some shares around here and do some interviews with some top producing agents. Last week we had Joe and Taylor on here, Joe and Taylor Group, and guys selling over $1 million a year in GCI just from Facebook leads. I mean, they're killing it. So you got the Bearded Men of Real Estate. How did you and Dan meet, or how did you guys know each other?
Through one of those group. It was kind of like a group like this, one of those Facebook groups.
Nice.
Yeah,
he seems like a great guy too. So you were recently at the Tom Ferry event. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah,
that was huge, huh?
Yeah, the way that happened, I guess it was in 2016. I went to the summit. It was my first time, and I wasn't a big rah-rah-ree real estate conference guy.
Yeah.
It's just not my shtick. But I went, and I showed up a day early and went to the Tom X stuff, and I thought, while I'm here, I've been messing around with Facebook video. I'm just going to shoot a quick video and introduce myself, and then I'm going to market it and boost it to all the agents that are there at that hotel. So I shot a video, and I said, hey, my name's Ray. I'm a real estate agent in Arkansas. Just want to say hi and meet you guys. If you see me, please come up and tell me that you saw my video. Let's connect. Give me your business card. I'd love to send you some referrals. Because in Arkansas, we have a lot of people that we export. And so it's hard to cast a wide net if you're in Arkansas to get people, referrals of a lot of people coming in. So I thought, well, that's the widest net I can cast.
Yeah.
So there were 5,500 people there that year. And I only targeted real estate agents. We got over 3,000 views of that video. And there were people walking up to me going, hey, dude, I saw your video. Like, it was crazy. I think there were probably more than 1,000 people that mentioned it or gave me their card. And when they always say, if you're going to a real estate conference, take 100 cards, I was out. And so I knew that we had something that was geo-targeting with videos, and it worked.
How'd you do that?
Yeah, it was, Facebook. It just, you totally, I dropped a
pin right on the hotel,
a pin right on Mandalay Bay. And I went out like 2 miles, and then I made it to where I went through every real estate job title I could find, even realtor. And so I went through all those job titles and selected them. And that audience itself was over 6,000. So there were probably some people there that in Vegas, it's a big place. There were probably some people there that weren't there for the conference that saw it too, but I didn't really care about that.
Yeah.
So that led to a panel that November where I got to speak in Baltimore and talk on the panel about our video stuff. And then the following March, they contacted me and said, hey, we've been watching your video. We want you to speak about this video thing. I was like, sure. And then I realized I don't speak in front of people. I do it on video. And so I think I emailed her. I was like, hey, how many people are going to be there? Just curious. And she was like, anywhere from 6,500 to 7,000 this year. And I went, oh my goodness. So I read a book called How to Give a TED Talk because it had to be 18 minutes. That's the length of a TED Talk. In the book, he says, join Toastmasters. I joined 2 Toastmasters. So I was going on Monday and Friday to a Toastmasters group to learn how to speak. And I've formulated what I was going to say. I had the slides ready and everything. I got up there to speak. They said that they would show the slide that was coming up. And then up there would be the slide that's there, obviously. Well, that messed up. So they were only showing the slide. So I'd trained myself to give this speech on the slide that's coming up. So I had to fake issues with the clicker so that I could see, what was coming. So anyway, gave this speech, got off stage and thought, wow, never going to do that again. And then somebody comes up to me and is like, hey, I really appreciate what you said. And, here's what we're going to do based on your speech. Here's what we're going to do to our business based on what you said. And we think it's going to change our life like this. Wow. I thought, well, that's really cool. The premise that I spoke on was that clip that was in the video. In the future, real estate companies won't be just real estate agencies. There'll be media companies that specialize in real estate and a media company that specializes in the community. And that's what our team had been. So when I saw that, I got asked to speak at another conference with Curator because somebody live streamed my Tom Ferry thing to the Curator guys. And so they contacted me and I got to speak with another person on video. And we talked about video and how it relates to content and what we're doing with that. But the premise was the same. That in the future, as real estate agents, our job is going to change. And in my opinion, real estate agents have a choice. They can either discount or go away, or they can increase the services they provide, which is going to cost more. So you have to figure out a way to do it smartly. And if you can figure out a way to do that smart, increase the services, be a multimedia company, then not only are you going to survive, I think you'll thrive.
Nice. Yeah, so that's actually one of my questions. So, I mean, that's how you came up with Pixel Properties. Were you Pixel Properties before February or just?
No. So I guess, with all the speaking and stuff, we got pretty busy. I was the top producer at my local brokerage for like 17, 18 months. And I think I probably just got too big. They actually asked me to leave.
Oh, and man.
I was kind of hurt. I thought we were friends. So
jealous of the beard.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Beard haters, man.
And so we did. I left, in doing that, there's always kind of transition and change. And most of my team also left. They didn't think we were going to make it. And I had been thinking about starting a brokerage for years. In 2006, I first started real estate as an assistant to a whole bunch of other real estate agents, and I was helping them market and sell property. And I was newly married. My wife and I were watching YouTube, and we were watching this guy taste wine on YouTube in 2006. And I told her, I said, somebody's got to do this for real estate, because my head was kind of in the marketing game. I said, I don't know who, but I got to figure out a way to do this. So I became a licensed agent in 2007. We had an incredible 4 or 5 months. Sold my first house in a day. And then the market in Northwest Arkansas just stopped.
Crashed.
Total crash. So it went from, hey, how am I going to market in real estate to, hey, how am I going to survive? So I wound up becoming a business broker, help people buy and sell businesses, started owning a couple of businesses. Long story short, my wife wanted to move back to Little Rock where she's from. So we got rid of all that stuff and I went full time into real estate.
Nice.
In fall of 2013. But this time I just studied the systems and the processes. I ignored all of the marketing and just focused on my craft as a real estate agent, how to negotiate better, how to walk somebody through a transaction. This transaction was an incredible experience for this client and it was incredibly bad for this other client. What happened? And is there anything I could have done as an agent different to help them?
Right.
Why did this house sell in a day and this house took 90 days to sell? And so I really focused on the systems and processes involved. And then I looked up and we were beating the market. So that's when I switched to marketing. And I started marketing on Facebook, playing around with it a little bit. And then we started doing the video. Then we started doing photos. And I started doing a lot of split testing. Curator first came to me when they were on the WordPress platform. And I said, no. But I did say, I love what you do. So put me on the list whenever you have your own system, contact me. And they did. They followed up with me and said, hey, we launched our new system. Check it out. And I was in because I love the simple, clean look. It looked great. I knew it was the content platform I was looking for because that was the hard part is finding a platform that I could produce lots of content on and I could use as a lead gen tool because everyone's so focused on just the lead gen, like Tiger leads and all this other stuff. I knew that was such short-term thinking. I was looking for the marathon. And I felt like that was the platform I could use for that marathon. So that's when I switched, started doing that stuff. But Pixel Properties was kind of always in the back of my mind. It wasn't the name. And we just came up with the name a couple of weeks before we launched, believe it or not. Just fit perfect.
Yeah, that's a brilliant idea.
A brokerage that's more of a media company has always kind of been back there. I just thought I was like 2 to 3 years away. And then when that happened in December, I said, well, why not? And so now I wish I had done it sooner. But there's no one in our area that offers the services and the types of media and marketing services that we offer to our agents. So we haven't recruited at all, but our phone has been ringing off the hook since we launched because they see what we're doing for the agents and how we're helping the agents to market their brand and get them out there. And it's just interesting to me. There's a lot of real estate brokerages and agencies that say, hey, you get to market yourself however you want. You get to buy your own signs. You get to buy your own business cards. You get to do this and that. And I feel like that's code for we're not going to do anything for you.
Right.
And one of the things I learned last year in our market, we did 95 transactions, 16.8 million. I think I was like number 11 in the city of Little Rock. I think I was number 17 overall, but it wasn't really that worth it because I had such a huge cash expenditure on all the content we were creating, the video and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I had to really get smart about it. And for us, that meant starting a brokerage to share some of those expenses.
Okay. Do you have do you have a team within your own brokerage then?
I do. Yeah. So I still take care of the people who call me specifically, friends, family, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a buyer specialist on my team and then it's just me.
Okay.
We have a transaction coordinator for our brokerage. So we offer those services. We have a marketing coordinator for our brokerage. And so every agent has those services. And then we have a full-time video guy and graphics guy. So
yeah, that's man, you're answering all my questions before I even get to them. 'Cause, yeah, I got those questions on here. So how does the video with your video stuff, which is outstanding. I want to try to well, before I get to that, let me throw this over here and just show the audience your site. This is your curator site that you mentioned that looks really clean. It looks really nice. Looks like you're doing some blogging and stuff on here. This is your Home Sweet Arkansas show, which I can't wait to talk to you about that. I'm real excited about that. Man, these are just so fun to watch. But so you laid it with Curator. It just seemed like a good fit for you because it's fitting with your style of what you're trying to do. And your philosophies of video, clean lines, good looking stuff, and good branding, quality material, right?
Yeah, would absolutely. That be? It allowed us to kind of create a home for the content pieces. We had several series and things like that. And if we could do it in a blog format and kind of create a home for those pieces, that's not just YouTube. But as you know, Curator also allows you to do the embedding of the Facebook Lives and stuff like that. So we're just finding different ways to spread the content.
Right.
And we don't, the only way really we're driving traffic to that website, I think there's a couple of Google AdWords we buy, but mostly it's Facebook marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're driving the traffic back to that and then we remarket to them. And I've barely even scratched the surface with the email stuff and all that. And last year we didn't call anybody. So we gotta, I mean, there's a lot of room for improvement. Like phone.
Yeah. So
regular emails and newsletters and that kind of thing. So
yeah, what are you guys doing for lead generation? Do you focus on any lead generation or lead sources?
It's just Facebook.
Right on.
Yeah, in my opinion, there's a lot of companies that say they do Facebook lead gen, and I've talked to a lot of them locally, and they're agents that are coming to us saying, "Well, our company does Facebook lead gen," and so I ask them, "Well, how many leads do you get on average a month?" And they're like, "Well, 2 to 5."
2 to 5 leads.
Really, yeah. And that's not really focus on Facebook lead gen. You got to have like 100 to 200 leads to convert 2 or 3, right?
Right.
So if you're getting 5 or if you're getting 2 and you have to have 100, so that means that you will convert one in 50 months.
Right.
I mean, that's not really a focus on lead gen. So we generate anywhere from 800 to 1,500, depending on the budget that month and depending like where our spend goes up in the summer. We take it down a little bit in the winter. But anywhere from 800 to 1,500 is what we've been averaging
a month.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so then that spreads around, of course, to the other agents and that kind of thing. But we got a new agent 2 weeks ago. She got 22 leads. Out of those 22 leads, she got one who is an investor and looking to buy, not working with an agent. She converted them. So now she's picked up a client out of 22. So it's not always 100, but we just kind of use the 100.
Yeah.
Because I know that if you have a database of 100, then you should get 10 transactions out of that database who are your sphere or people that you're close to. So use the 1 out of 100 because these are people that you don't know that are just kind of coming in from random.
Mm-hmm.
But what we're trying to do with our agents is get them in front of their sphere using Facebook. So, and you know all the tools and stuff that Facebook allows you to do that with, to
Right.
upload your database and then retarget your database and target your database friends,
Yeah.
and so we're trying to use all that stuff while Zuckerberg is still making it available.
Yeah, making it affordable for now,
Yeah.
at least. Uh, so yeah, that's cool. So you're mostly focusing on lead sources of Facebook.
Yeah.
Uh, then when what are you guys doing with those leads when you say 1 out of 100? How do you guys just reaching out to them via phone or
Yeah. If they have a phone
emails?
number, we call them immediately because that, 95% drop off rate if you don't contact them the first 5 minutes. So
Right.
we contact them immediately. If by phone, we give them a call. They're also sent a text message, and then they're on those drip campaigns through the emails. So if we only have an email, they're getting emailed constantly. We also do the email newsletters back to them, but then we will retarget them. We have several audiences set up in Facebook according to how people are interacting with us or interacting with our website. And
Nice.
so we'll target different ads to them, basically using our content to filter instead of the phone.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, my hope is, we're trying to shift our focus like you are with our company as well to doing that at a high level on Facebook. So I'm looking forward to the day when all this content that we're creating and putting out there just gets the phone ringing, and people are like,
Yeah.
"Man, I see you all over the Facebook, and it's just great stuff you're producing."
Well, what
Um,
we're finding is the initial contact, even people from Zillow. I personally, my own team, we have a little bit of Zillow spend, and I only target the neighborhood that I live
mm,
and where several of my friends live because I just want them to see my head whenever they go to Zillow. That's really the only reason. And I also get to do coming soon posts for some of my listings and stuff, so there's a little bit of benefit.
oh,
But one of the things we're doing with them is that we find that they will call us or we will connect with them, and then they go to our Facebook page to check us out. So they're not even going to our website to check us out. They're going straight to Facebook. And so if we don't have good content on Facebook, if we don't have something there, which now I've kind of shifted my focus from my Ray Allen Group Facebook all the way to the Pixel Properties Facebook to just, be better for the agents. So most of our content's on that now, but they'll check that out and see if we're putting anything out and see who we are and that kind of thing. So that's the weird connection, I guess you could say. So you could say, well, that lead came from Zillow,
right.
but it was verified
Yeah,
through Facebook.
nice. Let's take a look at your Facebook page here. Can you see that, Ray?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this is Ray's Pixel Properties Realty Facebook page. Really clean looking stuff. I was scrolling through this earlier. Your March top producers. That's for your brokerage.
Yeah.
You guys just recognizing them and giving them shout outs and
Yeah.
great. Everything you put out here, though, is just, I want to just point out, is great quality stuff. I mean, you obviously have a great photographer who took these images, and your graphics designer just made these look sleek and very nice. And I think that's a great benefit to your agents to do that kind of stuff for them as well. This is, if you could see this, I'm not going to push play because then you'll hear it over the computer, but this is the Bearded Men of Real Estate show that Ray and Dan are doing. How often are you guys doing that show?
We try to do it. We say we do it weekly, but we don't. We do it about every other week
Okay.
because just stuff happens, life happens. And so, but our goal is to be every week, Wednesday at 12.
Okay. Awesome. Here is a listing, a featured listing for that they looks like did you do an ad for this one or no?
Yeah, I can't remember actually.
Okay.
I think that was,
But
how many people have liked it? I can tell by that. I can't see the
it
details
says
on it.
14
Yeah, so I think an
yesterday.
ad started yesterday on that one.
Okay. And so, that's really a good looking ad too. You got some emoticons or, you got a link here. And when they click on that, let's see where that does. Nice. So pulls up the Facebook, click here for the price and photos.
Yeah.
Really good looking landing page. Down here is an article. You're featured in the Home in Arkansas, at Home in Arkansas magazine. That's awesome. Congratulations. That's sweet. This is a little ad you guys did here. It looks like for just making it nice and easy for people to click on their neighborhoods where it looks like it will land on those properties already, a search already built for them, so it makes it easy for them. Good looking. That's good looking too there with
And
those.
there's no registration on that.
Nope.
We're we're wanting to put out a whole bunch of those. And then in the future, like 6 months down the road, we'll put a registration on them. But right now, I just want people to get used to clicking on it and making it real easy for them.
Okay.
And it's making our the clients who are already with us, it's got a trackable magic link, so it's tracking it. There's a pixel on the page. And so it's tracking their activity whenever they go there and hit it. And so now we're using that as a differentiator, and it's making it categories. So you might notice on that listing post, we of course don't have the location. We don't have any kind of information like that. So if somebody clicks it, it'll automatically tag them with the area of that listing, but that may not actually be where they're interested in. So we're putting ads like that out to gather data. So it's free. They could go there and they can search and they could see everything they want.
Mm-hmm.
But what it's doing when you give them several options, like all those little subdivisions were in Little Rock. So we're going to do another one with all different subdivisions in Benton Bryant area. And so as they're clicking on that, it is adding to their profile so that we can help them find the house they're looking for. And so when we see that special, there's like a special ad tag on those, and we see it and it tells us what properties they're looking at and how many properties they viewed, and we see where they're from. Now we know exactly what to send them to follow up with.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that's some deep stuff, man. We could probably get on here and go digging deep into the back end of your Facebook ad manager and show everybody how it's done. But but I'm sure people would love that. Actually, maybe we could do that on a seminar or something when you guys come here. Is this it says this is congrats to Honey Pies Gourmet Bakery? Is this one of the Home Sweet Arkansas episodes here?
Yeah, that's our second episode we did. We tested 2 episodes in the fall and they did really well. And so we've shot 1 episode so far this year. We're going to do a whole bunch more, but we had to start a real estate brokerage. So we have some planned through the rest of the year, but we'll probably put, 6 to 9 episodes in a season. And so just whenever we finish, and we're in no hurry, we're trying to find good people and good places to go. And whenever we get to 9 episodes, we're going to call that season 1. And then we'll start season 2 and do another 6 to 9 episodes of that. So we usually will just give a couple months of break in between it, but we're trying to do about 1 a month. It's just hard to continue to do that and start the whole brokerage and do all that stuff.
Yeah. So tell us about the Home Sweet Arkansas. What's the goal and the purpose of that? Just, that's consumer facing.
Right.
So
it's not only is it consumer facing, it's local consumer facing or like relocating consumer facing.
Right.
So it's a very local piece for us. I kind of jokingly say it's a giant hug back to our community, and they've been super supportive of us. A lot of people have used us, and so if we can do something for local business owners and give them some publicity they wouldn't normally have, and give them some attention
right.
that they wouldn't normally have, because these are places that we hear are rocking, are good people, and they work hard, and so it's just kind of a natural, I think, for us as real estate agents to develop community content. And so once we have a library of this content, whenever we post a listing that's in an area of one of these restaurants, we're going to do a blog post, and at the bottom blog post will say, hey, check out the Honey Pies episode that's just down the street.
Nice.
And so we did one for the North Bar, which is in North Little Rock. We did one on a chocolate. Our first one was a chocolate guy. He makes chocolate. And so
I saw that.
Heights
was awesome.
Hillcrest area. So whenever we post a Heights Hillcrest listing, we can also retarget those folks with the chocolate show. Or whenever we do that, the Izzard Chocolate Show, we can retarget them with some listings that are near it. And we can say, hey,
awesome.
Did you like chocolate? You want to live within walking distance?
That's amazing, man. That's brilliant. Hey, I'm gonna show a little opening clip here of your Home Sweet Arkansas show. Okay.
Okay.
Hang on a second. So that is amazing. That's amazing stuff. I mean that for real, Ray. That's like HGTV quality stuff.
Yeah.
So I had some questions about that. So you have, just for our agents that are doing this or watching this, you're pretty cutting edge to be doing this kind of stuff. I've seen a lot of community videos and things like that across the internet that real estate agents are trying to do, and this is top of the line stuff. So you have your own videographer then that
Yep.
you hired originally. Was that always the case, or you said you had hired somebody out at first?
Originally it was freelance. So we would, so my in-house videographer now makes the Home Sweet Arkansas shows. I've never done one of those shows without it, but we had a couple of other shows we used to do that. I think season 1 of the Real Q&A show has ended, and that was all done with freelance photography, videography, and all that. And basically, for those shows especially, I would bring like 5 shirts, and I would do 5 shows in a half day to save money with the videographer. And so we were coming up with real creative ways. So I would say no editing, and he was like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, you could put like the questions up there, but don't worry about cutting. If I stumble on something or if I say something stupid, don't even worry about it. Just keep going." And so that really cut the cost down because they could do 5 episodes. By the end of the week, we'd have all 5 of them back. And so they were very efficient in the editing. They were very efficient in the shooting, and they loved to do the work. And so that's how we used the freelance to start. Then we would also use those freelance videographers to do listing videos. And it was kind of the same scenario. We would try to do, they'd be like, well, for one listing video, it'd be $500 or $600. And then I would say, well, what about for 4 of them between 9 o'clock and 12 o'clock? And they would be like, there's no way I can shoot that much. And I told them, I was like, well, I'll come with you. And I'll just make sure you get the shots that matter. So the first guy that I'd ever done that with, he was real artsy. He was extremely artsy. He could tell an amazing story. That's why I kind of fell in love with what he did. And so one of the first videos I got was a lot of like close-ups of beautiful faucets and and so I had to tell him like, let's use the shot from the doorway and like get the whole room, because the buyer wants to see a doorway, and then you can focus on the bathroom faucet. And so we worked a lot on that and the training on that. And he did an amazing job. When it always takes videographers a couple of edits and a couple of sessions to figure out exactly what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Once they know what you're looking for, they can produce it very quickly. Then I had a video guy. One of my first video guys was also kind of new, and he was trying to break into the industry. And so he gave us some reduced rates on this stuff, and then he had to move away. But he was also really good, an amazing storyteller. My next guy was very, corporate's not the word, but he was like, man, he was efficient. He was on it. He would do a shoot and I would get it that night, and he was fast. And so with him, it took him a while to get the story. Once he could tell the story with me, then that was fine. But with the guy we've hired in-house, I've been able to kind of train. He sent me his initial video, and he sent me what he had done, and I saw the talent. I said, okay, if I could help this guy be like a mix between the 2 that I've had, it would be exactly what we need. And I would be able to afford him in-house by producing other content. And so that's basically what we did, is we hired him full-time to be on our staff. And so he does listing videos and, Home Sweet Arkansas to everything else we do. He doesn't do the housing data dump. Those are just live stuff.
Okay.
But the mentality with going after something like Home Sweet Arkansas and doing it as professional as possible
Mm-hmm.
is that I'm highlighting someone else's business.
Right.
And if I go in there with my cell phone, then I might do them an injustice, which actually inhibits them from wanting to share it. It inhibits them from even wanting to be a part of it.
Right.
And so if you've seen a Home Sweet Arkansas episode, I don't say anything about real estate in it. I don't say, hi, my name's Ray, and as a real estate agent, I go to all kinds of places in my town. There was nothing like that. It was just all about them, because I know that stuff will come back to me.
Yeah.
I don't
awesome.
have to try to sneak in, and if you want a home valuation for this neighborhood, because that cheapens the product.
Right.
And I really wanted it to be a show. I call it a Saturday afternoon show, where you're like cleaning the house or doing something, and then you realize that you've actually been sitting on the couch for 30 minutes watching this show.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to create, like just a lazy Saturday afternoon type of show.
Hmm.
And so that was kind of the intent. We try to keep the episodes around 9 to 11 minutes.
Okay.
That way, if we ever did get picked up by something, we could cram 2 shows together and have a 30-minute, it's like a 23-minute episode
Mm,
for TV, and then they throw in their advertisements. So if we ever did get picked up by TV, we already had it.
nice.
Um, but that's kind of like way down the, I'll be happy with the Facebook show thing. But that's the kind of the mentality of it. And the other, our listing videos are super high quality because when I'm showcasing the house, it's kind of the same way. I don't want to do that with a cell phone. I want that to be the highest quality as possible and make it all about that house.
Right.
And then some of the other content we do, like the Bearded Men in Real Estate, man, I would do that with a cell phone and a heartbeat because that's not about my clients. That's not about some other business. That's just me. And I know that I can make up for bad quality audio and video just based on my own content.
Hmm. Nice. Yeah, I found one of your listing videos here. I'll show that real quick too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great stuff. I always we're just trying to start getting into doing those videos too, and I see a lot of them around, and some people like to get in them and just do descriptions. Some just try to play music and let maybe
Yeah.
put some words on the screen and stuff. But I like the getting your face in there and doing a description of the property. I feel like it has more of um, a personality to it, and
Yeah.
it's like more engaging rather than just like sitting and waiting for the next scene to kind of happen and play out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's exactly it. And we A/B tested. I encourage people to do split testing on that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do a ad with just the house as starting and then your voiceover and all the same call to action and text and stuff like that in the post. Then do one with you standing in front of the house and all the same everything else. Then do one um, with just the house without you saying anything, keep everything else the same, and just split test, see what works in your market. In our market, that really works well. I don't know if it's because we're in the South or if, it's just a natural connection between somebody else wanting to connect with someone else on the screen. So I would just encourage people to test and kind of see what works for you. Some people honestly may be terrible on video, and it took me probably 10 to 15 videos before I would actually publish a video. My first one was me talking about 2 open houses. I didn't have anything going. I had scheduled 2 open houses on the weekend, and both of the homes sold that week before I could do the open house. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any, and so finally, I've been playing with this video thing. I was like, okay, I just got to do it. And so I literally took my phone out and iMovie and did a whole like edit job and everything with my phone sitting in the truck. And I just put it out there because I needed the money. And sure enough, that worked. People started clicking on it. People thought it was cool. And I talked about how I was going to hold these 2 open houses and they sold. So don't wait, don't wait for the open house. That was my whole shtick.
Nice.
And do what?
I said nice. Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah. But that's where once I saw people's response to that video, I thought I was terrible on camera, honestly. And I was a huge critic of myself.
Did you have the beard?
I did. Yeah. I had a
Oh,
beard. I had a
okay.
beanie. It was very hipstery. But I just thought I was bad. I thought, I had a bad presence. And so when people started responding like they did, I thought, well, I got to get over this because this is actually making me money.
Yeah.
So I did. I to this day, I watch the Home Sweet Arkansas episodes because I feel like I'm doing that on behalf of the business owner because they don't get to watch or edit.
Okay.
And so I watch those, but I don't watch anything else that I do. I don't ever watch a housing data dump. I don't ever watch a listing video. I don't ever watch the Bearded Men in Real Estate. Part of it is because
Interesting.
I was in the show, so I know what we talked about.
Yeah. Right.
The other part is I don't want to self-edit too much, and I know I'm going to be real harsh on myself if I look at it. And so I really just try not to pay attention to it. I just do the content, get it over with, and go.
Well, yeah, I think it all looks great, man. I think a lot of people do too. I don't know what the concern would be, because it's great stuff, man.
Well,
And
the more you do it,
the
the more you
beard
get
is
used to it
awesome.
too.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and the glasses got that hipster thing going on. So yeah. Well, cool. Let me ask you. So you got a lot of equipment. I mean, even that stuff. Your microphone there is
Yeah.
fantastic. Your shock mount, all that kind of stuff. You were showing me your mixer earlier. I mean,
So
that's
for those of you interested, it's a Heil PR40.
awesome.
Yeah. And it's
And
the Heil shock mount and Heil boom, because I'm a brand geek.
awesome. And then yeah, and so this is next level stuff. What kind of cameras is your videographer using, and how much does it cost to hire a videographer? What kind of what can you
So
share with
cost
us?
is going to be completely dependent upon your area, really. I mean, I would
Yeah,
say once you get a couple of, most of the agents are going to go out and they're going to contact a local, startup advertising firm that's been trying to get their business, and they're going to hear the quote and they're going to go, whoa, that ain't going to happen.
right.
And that's probably how you should react. I would say contact people that, y'all probably have an amazing film school. If you can, I think now we have a process and I have a lead videographer. And so now we should be able to get interns to work for us just to learn what we do.
Right.
So, but until we were doing that, I was trying to hire the newest video guys I could find. And it was a big learning curve for me to even learn how to talk to them. So once I found a really cool videographer, Micah, who is an amazing storyteller, I asked him to teach me the language of video. And I would say, I don't know how to say it, but this is what I'm trying to communicate. And he would say, well, that's called this.
Hmm.
And so from then on, I knew what to say to a video guy that they would understand what I was looking for. And if you can sharpen your communication skills with your video people, it gets a lot cheaper, because
Right.
suddenly you ask for a quote and then they tell it to you. And then you say, okay, but I want you to take out this. You don't have to worry about this. We're going to do this for you, and then they're like, oh, well, you know what you're doing. So it's going to be this price.
Hmm.
Because part of what's built into their price is their professionalism and
Okay.
helping to train people to be on camera and helping to train people in what they're looking for.
Right.
And I also would let them charge me more for the first two. After that, I wanted less, because I knew it would take them a long time to get what I'm looking for. And so the first of any new show we did, or the first of any new thing we did, I would sit down with the video guy and we would go through every second. And I would tell them exactly what I wanted. Even if it was like, most people would be like, it's not a big deal. I would tell them. Now, most people don't think this is a big deal, but do you hear how he said, there? I need you to cut that out. And so like, they're like, seriously? But then now I get product back from these video guys, and it's maybe like one minuscule edit, and it's totally opinionated. Like, it's very little editing that I have to do now, because they know what I'm looking for.
Hmm.
But it took training yourself on video to figure out, how do I communicate? What do I need to say? And what is my vision? Like, what am I actually looking to communicate to the audience who watches it? Who is the audience? So if you can find a videographer that can help you figure those things out, that will go a long way.
Hmm.
Pay more for that person than you would for the new guy right out of college. Then you
Yeah.
can find a new guy right out of college to do it for cheap, and then you communicate well and tell him exactly what you're looking for.
Right.
So, but the pricing is going to be totally dependent upon where you are. The equipment we actually provide. So I have a Sony A7S II video camera. I've got whatever lens he told me to get. And we have these Sennheiser mics that I use. So
Those
these are
wireless.
this is the Bluetooth thing connector with the Sennheiser. Of course, that's analog. So there's a thing that this plugs into that records whenever we're shooting on site or shooting the Home Sweet Arkansas shows. So we have a couple of those. We have a Mackie Pro FX 8 that I've had for like 10 years, but this sits over here on the side of my desk. So there that is.
Audio mixer.
Yeah, audio mixer by my Expo juice. So the audio mixer is that kind of what gives my voice a little extra. And so that goes a long way on shows like the Bearded Men of Real Estate. So that's why people could listen to that as a podcast and not mine, because the audio sounds good.
Nice.
Doesn't sound hollow.
Yeah.
When I'm doing the housing data dumps, I plug this thing into the mixer and I wear this mic, because the camera I use is I think I have an extra one here. Hang on. Let me see. No, I don't. So I literally have to show you the camera that I'm currently using to record this. But
Oh yeah.
the camera I use is a HD 1080p Logitech C920.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the C920s, they shoot great. The 1080p stuff makes it look good. We're going to switch to a DSLR camera with a switcher, which will do HDMI into the computer. And then that'll let us get a better white balance because these lights are terrible.
Mm.
And if you're under fluorescent lights, it kind of has a green cast to it. And so that green cast on a whiteboard makes it look weird sometimes.
Yeah, you use that as your green screen behind you there. It looks like it.
Yeah. So we also have a green screen in our studio. So this is kind of our studio office. I guess my head just got really big for you there. Here you go. So we also have some lights and stuff like that that are just tucked away in the corner. In the future, I want to get rid of my suspended ceiling and suspend lights from that. The green screen at the very front of that listing video that you showed, I was in front of a green screen. So our
Yeah.
video guy gets a special shot at every house he goes to that is at a particular height for the agents. And that allows us to record a 3-minute clip in like 20 minutes
Mm-hmm.
instead of an hour. Because
Nice.
whenever we're shooting in front of a property, which we'll still do every now and then, but man, it takes forever. As soon as we start shooting the fire trucks or the garbage trucks or something starts happening outside to mess up the audio. One time we were in a cul-de-sac and we were like, oh, this is perfect. Nobody can hear us. And a guy started practicing flying his plane around. I'm like, 20 minutes for that. Then as soon as the plane flew away, there was like a murder of crows that came through and we're just the whole time. And I looked at my video guy. I was like, can you hear that? He was like, yeah, you got to wait. So if we can control the environment, we can save time, which also cut cost.
Right.
Everything, a lot of what we do is built around efficiency because video and real estate, it's not our primary job. So we have to be very cheap and efficient with all the video, but we want the highest possible quality.
Yes.
So it's like squeezing everything you can out of an orange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm using a Sony A6300 DSLR, and I got a nice lens, some 30 millimeter lens. I don't know what it is, and so I got this switcher here. Like you mentioned, it's an Ultra Studio mini recorder by Blackmagic Studio.
Ultra Studio mini recorder by Blackmagic.
Yeah, so that switches the DSLR to be able to talk to the computer and bring in an HDMI input into the computer from the camera.
That's good. If you're not writing that down, everybody, you should.
So yeah. Everybody asks me when they see the images, "Oh, what are you using?" I just got this DSLR camera at Best Buy Black Friday. And it was like
That's
$800 or $900. Came with 2 lenses. The other lens was like $400. That was a lot nicer to be able to create that bokeh effect behind you.
Well, and if you're using, so we have a Sony video. So if you kind of keep it the same brand and all the lenses and stuff work, we actually bought a, I think it was a Canon lens converter.
Right. Yeah.
Canon lenses were a little better, and that costs almost as much as the lens. But man, the quality we're getting out of that is really great. So
yeah, your quality, your stuff is insanely awesome. So what would you say if an agent was just starting to jump into media video? What advice would you give them?
Well, so I'd clarify first: are they jumping into real estate, or are they jumping into media and video?
Yeah, let's say real estate.
Existing real estate company.
Yeah, they're a real estate agent, and they want to step up their video game.
So a lot of the new real estate guys that are real flashy and stuff aren't going to like my answer, but it's to not do any. So I feel like there's a disconnect between what I do and what the new real estate agent does. And, of course we get asked a lot by new real estate agents, hey, let me buy a cup of coffee and ask you some questions. So I'll go for 15 minutes. And the first thing I tell them is, what do you know about a transaction? They're like, well, I went to school and my broker showed me some things, but I've closed 2. It's like,
yeah,
okay,
right.
you don't need any of this stuff to close a bunch of transactions. You need to call people and tell them you're a real estate agent.
Right.
So the basics, everybody tries to get fancy. Focus on the basics. The basics of real estate is personal connections and relationships with other people who own an asset that is a house. Eventually, and you don't even have to ask for it all the time. You don't have to, pelt everybody with, are you looking to buy, sell, or invest, or know someone who is? try not to talk about real estate and just invest in relationships and look for those times where somebody actually needs you. Hey, we're having another kid. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Hey, if you guys are running out of space, let me know, because once that kid gets here, it's going to be really hard to see a house. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Did I just like go hard after the sell, or did I offer to help?
Right.
I offered value, I offered to help.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, study the market, know what's happening in the neighborhoods, know what neighborhoods are getting a higher turnover and why, know what houses are selling faster, what houses are selling slower and why, and just study, 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 study. And then you'll become the resource for those people. Now, when you turn a video camera on and you have closings and some experience and you've been a resource, you actually have something intelligent to say.
Mm-hmm.
And that is way different from an agent that's like, hey, come look at my house. Let's try to do a listing video. That just doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
People see right through it. People know that it's fake. They know that there's no depth there.
Mm-hmm.
And so my advice to a new agent is to develop the depth in your craft in real estate.
Nice.
Focus on the craft. Maybe you can team up with a brokerage or something like that that's kind of handling the media and can send you leads. And then every now and then you can like learn from them and do a little bit of media piece. That would be a great idea. But as a new real estate agent, focus on your craft. And once you've done that, if you're closing 10, 20, 30 deals a year and you just want to up your game and you want to offer additional services to your clients, that's a different ballgame. So in that stance, I would say focus on Facebook, get a Facebook presence, start with your own Facebook page personally, clean it up. If you're a partier, don't post that stuff anymore. Just be smart.
No
about what you
religious
post.
and political posts and
Yeah, if
controversial
you're an R
posts
or a
anymore.
D, make people wonder what you are, and just be smart. Post stuff that's relating to the economy and not a bash Trump piece.
Yeah.
It's just, it depends. You could do that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you could post a lot about politics. You could post a lot about your stances, as long as you realize what that's costing you. And so take your current database and cut it in half. Well, maybe not in Portland, but in Arkansas, you take your current database, cut it in half, and then now you know who will do business with you, because there's a lot of people that won't do business with people that don't think like them. So you don't have to post everything that they would post, but just kind of make people wonder. And my friends know where I stand, so I don't really have to say anything. So develop your Facebook presence personally. Then build a page, build a basic business page, start posting some of that content that you're learning for free. Like say, oh man, I was just looking at this neighborhood over here. It's got a turnover rate of this. What that means is every 5 years, this is happening or that's happening, or, in the last 3 months, there's been this many homes to sell. So there's really only 1 month of supply. If you guys know anyone in these neighborhoods that's thinking about selling, now's a really great time, because there's a lot of buyers looking and there's not much inventory over there. Or, hey, there's a ton of buyers looking over here. There's absolutely no homes on the market. Well, now you can go door knock that area. You can run an ad in that area 7 days before you door knock, saying, hey, I'm going to be door knocking your area in 7 days. Then you can go door knock. Then you can run an ad. Hey, I came by your house 7 days ago. I didn't catch you, but I want you to know there are people. And, if you drop a flyer, then people know that you were actually there. So there's a lot of like little things that you can do with a cell phone that are like that. There's a lot of real cheap things that you can do to get a lot of leads. And there's a lot of agents that don't do any major big time production that are extremely successful.
Mm-hmm.
So the question to ask, in my opinion, is why would an agent do that? And it's kind of like, I think you could take your real estate business to another level without doing any of it. But then I think you can get to a whole nother level where you're developing relationships within the community to be someone that's going to stay there for years and years and years and years.
Right.
And so after you have a bit of a presence, then you can, reach out to some business owners and say, hey, I've been a real estate agent in your market for 4 years. I'm not new. I know everyone loves this area, and I want to feature this area and create a lot of content so that people can find that content and residents can find that content. And now you're offering them a service by you being available in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll get sales from that. You'll get sales from the other people in the community. But I would say a new real estate agent who wants to start and do something like Home Sweet Arkansas is going to be out of business pretty quick. The cost of it is too expensive, because not only do you have the cost of production, you then have the cost of distribution. I mean, it's not magic that 40,000 people watch the show.
Yeah, right.
work. It's distribution. It's timing those channels right. It's timing the ads right and putting it from the right people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the stuff that I think a lot of people miss. They see the flash. But I tell people in my listing presentations that we're super flashy and everyone thinks we sell a lot of houses because we're flashy. That's not the reason. The reason are the systems and processes on the back end that I would journal every transaction, what went wrong, what we could have done better for 2.5 years, that created great systems and processes for buyers and sellers. And we update them regularly.
That's awesome.
That's a differentiator. It's not the video.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's definitely next level stuff. That's good advice. And
Isn't that funny that you said
you're in the details.
Talking about like the basics.
That's like it's not though. Football, right? It's unbelievable, man. How many people they get into real estate and they just start treating it like transactions, and it's like people are not transactions. People are human, and they have emotions, and they have experiences, and they have desires, and you really have to focus on them and trying to help them the best you can.
Yeah.
And if that's not what you're in it for, is to build those relationships and help each client one at a time by giving your best and treating them the way you would want to be treated, then those people are never going to refer you, and you're just shooting yourself in the foot, and you're always going to be looking for right now business, because you won't have any referral business come 5 years later that can just blow up your phone regularly with new business, and each one of those people referring you as you grow. So.
Yeah. I mean, referrals are still the number one way we do business. And now we're just using the content to get in front of those referrals. But had I not done the business in the first place, putting out the content wouldn't have gotten in front of anybody. They just say, wasn't that neat? I'm still going to use my brother, still going to use my sister.
Yeah.
But now we get people all the time that have relative in the business, but they're using us because they see us everywhere and their friend told them how fast we sold their house or something like that. So
right.
Just kind of using that to stay in front of our sphere has been a huge boon for referrals.
Yeah. Well, you guys are killing it with Facebook and stuff. Well, I just got maybe one or two more questions here and I'll let you go. But, people like, me and other people from around some of these Facebook groups and realtors around the country are, looking up to you because you're ahead of us in this game. Who are you looking to? Who are your icons of real estate or business owners or speakers or, that you're watching and paying attention to?
That's a great question. So looking up to or chasing after, right? So that wine guy that I was telling you about in 2006 that I was watching on YouTube, was Gary Vaynerchuk.
Right.
I've been following that guy for a long time. And
he's crushing it right now.
Yeah, he's crushing it. Whenever his Ask Gary V show came out, that made sense now in what I was wanting to do with real estate. That's when we did the Real QA show. And you'll see a lot of similarities to the Ask Gary V show and the Real QA show. Ours is just about real estate, of course, but occasionally people ask a weird question that we answer anyway. But I'm very closely following people that do media, a lot of media, because I do think that's the future of real estate brokerages. I'm watching very carefully now what other brokers are doing on the national stage. What the Kellers and the Century 21s and Coldwell Bankers and what they're doing to try to turn and try to add more value so that we constantly stay ahead of them. Because our goal, honestly, is to be a worldwide real estate brokerage.
Nice.
So we want to compete with the big boys. So to do that, you kind of have to watch what they do and analyze it and think about why they're doing it and how they're doing it.
Right.
So we're watching those closely. As far as people we're looking up to, I'm in the Tom Ferry ecosystem, so I see Tom's stuff when I can. I see curator stuff when I can. But really, for me, it's getting harder and harder to keep up because we're so busy. I rarely have time to go watch someone else's stuff, honestly. I mean, maybe I'm inefficient, but I'm so efficient that I listen to podcasts while I'm in the shower on, fast speed so that I can just get through the content and know the information so that I can then do other things.
Wow.
So I really am lacking in time to be deeply following other people. I'm hopefully we're staying on top of it and setting the curve. That's our goal, is to kind of like the Be More show, to call people to a higher standard and continue to develop and grow and change what we're doing based on the algorithms and analytics. We're doing a lot of testing, and we're always watching those, to see what happens. Um, so I don't want to sound braggy, but there's not a lot of people out there to watch.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, that's why we're talking to you. I mean, there's a lot of I mean, when you get I try to tell people all the time, when you're looking at people like you in real estate, or people that are, more successful you or ahead of you, it's not that they're necessarily smarter than you, or that they were just born with a silver spoon in their mouth or something like that. They've done it for longer, so it's like more of a time thing. So if you're making the right moves along your time frame, and you're learning from those people, and you're growing and stuff like that, eventually you can reach those same levels. But by the time you get to their level, they're probably another 10 levels ahead, because of all the extra time. And so, I just encourage people to not compare themselves like, oh, they're super awesome, I could never do that. Yeah, you can.
You can definitely do it.
You just have to learn, listen to those podcasts in the shower or at the gym or whatever,
There you
and
go.
implement.
Well, and that was a big commitment for me last year. You can't tell it because it's not, all the way full body, but that Home Sweet Arkansas clip that you showed was like 35 pounds ago.
Wow.
And so there's a lot of, what I was realizing that I was getting tired, and that I needed to start focusing on fitness. And so I actually joined a CrossFit gym that does it at 5:30 a.m. And so I go to that in the morning because I got no other time. I got 3 kids. We got one on the way, which the other day we found out was a boy. So I got
Nice.
2 girls
Congratulations,
and
man.
now a boy
That's
on the way.
awesome.
So I have no idea what to do about that. But that's the only time I have. And so I get home right as everyone is waking up. And, when everyone goes to sleep at night, sometimes I'll have to go back to work. And because of that kind of stuff, I just had to really focus on health. I had to really focus on time management. Those are all like the basics that you hear about,
Yeah, right.
getting really, really important.
Hmm.
And I should mention, every now and then we see some great video content. I'm in a couple little video Facebook groups. And what I
Yeah.
did is I made it automatically notify me when one of those guys post.
Okay.
And so I check that out. And if I'll check out like 4 or 5 seconds of it, honestly, and then I'll forward it to my video guy and get his opinion on it. So if it's good enough in the first like 10 seconds to capture some of my attention, I'll send it to my video guy and say, what do you think? And then he'll kind of break it down and give his opinion. If he gives a somewhat favorable opinion, then I watch it.
Nice.
And so I will look at that kind of stuff. Tim Smith, whenever I get a chance, I'll kind of go to his website, scope out some of what he does. He's in a way different market than what we do. Our top sell priced home is probably about $1 million. So that's kind of hard to compare yourself to somebody that's in a 30 million range and the budget that you have for that kind of property marketing. But if we can look at what they're doing and then adjust the finances, adjust the time, adjust to what we're doing, then maybe we can play in that ball game eventually.
Right.
It's just going to be for us, it's very different. Like our luxury market here has an 18-month supply.
Wow.
That's crazy. So our homes under 150 is about a 2-month supply.
Okay. Yeah. That's a lot different. Yeah. Ours is a good deal slower in the luxury market too, but not that slow. Well, they're probably similar actually. I mean, they could be on there for a year and a half, depends on the price.
Yeah.
But a lot of $2 million homes here, and wineries and things like that around too, and some more affluent areas. But well, cool. Well, Ray, one thing I'd like to do with the people in this group is to make sure they're connected to you so that they can send you referrals. I know you said that mostly you send people referrals because they're moving out of Arkansas, but if somebody was moving in, how can they connect with you? And I'll post it in the comments, but what's a good way to connect with you, or how can they watch your shows? What's the best process for them to start following you?
That's a good question. So Pixel Properties, if you go to facebook.com/Pixel Properties Realty, that is where our brokerage is. And so from there, you'll probably be jumping off to all kinds of places, from the Bearded Men of Real Estate to Home Sweet Arkansas shows. We're about to start the second season of the Real Q&A shows. We're on YouTube, but we're not getting much traffic on there yet. So every now and then we'll go through an update, which is probably my fault, but so you can find that stuff. I'm also the @ symbol and then Ray, R-A-Y, Zorback, Z-O-R-B-A-C-K, on a lot of the social media platforms. So if you want to ask a question, you can, find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Just shoot me a question through that. It's not real. If you're not my friend already, then if you send me a message, it goes to that secret inbox. So I'll probably see it in a couple of weeks. So be sure to send me a friend request on there if you want to. If you want to ask some questions, that's fine. But yeah, that's
Okay.
probably kind of covers it. Pixelproperties.com is our website. And we're so new that we just are now getting back agent headshots. So, so we're going to be updating that with a lot of contact information for people over the next 2 weeks or so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, awesome, man. Well, I will let you go, but I totally appreciate you doing this, Ray, man. This is big time. This is huge for us and for the people in this market, and just for you to be willing to share your stories and your successes and your failures and all that great stuff with us. And I just want to encourage the people here to follow you and check out the stuff you're doing, because it is very, very high quality and top of the line. Amazing video media stuff. So he's the one to watch, guys. Ray, thanks a lot for being on the show. And I will try to connect with you as well, so that maybe we can get you to come up here and speak and share some more of this stuff with us in person. So thanks again, Ray, man. I appreciate you. Take care, man.
See you guys. Thank y'all.
So, guys, I just wanted to let you know, stay in touch with this group. Share this group with your friends if you can. We're trying to bring you high quality content. We're trying to share this out and grow this big and bring you guys a lot of value to the Portland real estate market. Big time thanks to Ray. We've had Joe and Taylor on the show. Check out the past shows. Laura Gelot was on here sharing how she does all of her events that brings her over 500 transactions a year. And we've got a lot of great people still coming up here in the near future with Eric Rollo and Brad Allen and Ahmed Buddha and some of these other really great folks that are going to share with you how they grow their real estate business to find success. So thanks a lot, guys. Totally appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon.